Welcome, dear viewer. We're truly thrilled to have you here with us today. You didn't land here by accident. What you're about to witness is a story of celestial power, divine mystery, and a war that forever altered the course of eternity. Long before time began, before Earth was formed or man was created, something unimaginable happened in the heavenly realm. A being of breathtaking beauty dared to rise against the Almighty, and heaven itself was torn apart. What led to this rebellion? What was at stake? And why does this ancient war still affect us today? Stay with us because you're about to experience the untold story behind creation. The glory, the pride, the betrayal, and the fall. Sit tight, open your heart, and let this journey awaken something deep within your soul. And before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more inspiring, powerful content just like this. Let's begin. Kingdom Inspirations presents to you the great war in heaven you never knew about before time began. In this video, we invite you into the mystery of eternity, before the earth, before mankind, before time itself. We will explore a divine realm torn apart by rebellion, a moment when perfect harmony shattered into cosmic war. What caused one of heaven's most radiant beings to rise in pride? What unimaginable power clashed above the stars? And how did this battle shape the very foundation of creation? You'll discover. 1. The mystery of heaven before time began. 2. Who Lucifer truly was, his glory, pride, and fall. 3. How the seeds of rebellion grew in paradise. 4. The angelic hierarchy and armies of heaven. 5. The intense war that shook eternity itself. 6. God's ultimate judgment and eternal consequences. 7. How this ancient battle still impacts us today. Sit tight. What you're about to hear will change how you see the beginning of everything. Don't forget to subscribe for more powerful, soul-stirring content. Before creation, before time was born, a divine conflict erupted in the heart of heaven. How could perfect beauty birth rebellion? Why did Lucifer, once the brightest of angels, dare to challenge the Almighty? This is the story of betrayal, pride, and a cosmic war that changed eternity. Who stood, who fell, and what was the cost? These haunting questions drive the drama of heaven's first and greatest war. The truth will stir your soul and awaken your spirit. In the hush before time, heaven breathed in perfect light, until pride whispered in the heart of glory. A star rose to challenge the throne, sowing seeds of defiance in golden halls. Wings clashed in the silence as brother turned against brother. Love warred with rebellion, loyalty was tested in flame. Justice thundered across eternity, and the fallen plummeted into shadow. From that sacred ruin, destiny was shaped, etched in the heavens, echoing still through every breath of creation. Before the earth spun, before stars lit the sky, there was heaven, radiant, flawless, echoing with songs of eternal praise. But within its beauty, a shadow stirred. Lucifer, the most glorious of angels, grew restless. Pride crept in like poison, and what was once harmony turned to hatred. He dared to dream of a throne higher than God's. And with one act of defiance, the heavens shook. Wings once bound in brotherhood clashed in blinding fury. Angels wept. Light battled darkness. The unthinkable unfolded, a war in heaven. Not with swords of steel, but with wills of eternity. And when it ended, the cost was beyond comprehension. Glory fell. Eternity changed. A third of the stars dimmed, forever. This isn't just a tale, it's the origin of rebellion, the fracture in perfection, the echo of which still reaches us. A war not written in dust, but carved in the soul of creation. Brace yourself, for the story you're about to witness will shake your spirit. Now take a deep breath, and prepare to step beyond the veil of time. The heavens are no longer still. What you're about to witness is not just a story, it's the origin of all conflict, the spark that lit the fire of eternity. Piece by piece, we'll journey through glory, pride, betrayal, and war. So sit tight, open your heart, and let us dive deep into the divine battlefield where it all began. Before creation, before time, before us. Before time had a name, before galaxies spun or oceans sang, there was heaven. A realm untouched by decay, shimmering in the endless light of God's glory. It was not made, it simply was, eternal, pure, and majestic beyond imagination. At its center stood the eternal throne, where the Almighty reigned in radiant holiness, veiled in unapproachable light. Around him, countless celestial beings moved in perfect harmony. Seraphim burned with unending praise. Cherubim guarded mysteries too great to comprehend. Ranks upon ranks of angels obeyed divine will with joy and awe. Among them stood three mighty archangels, Michael, heaven's sword and protector, Gabriel, the voice and messenger of divine truth, and Lucifer, the most radiant of all. Lucifer, the morning star. Cloaked in beauty, wisdom, and sound, he walked among the stones of fire, adored by the host of heaven. But even he did not know the fullness of God's plan. For within the heart of the Eternal sat a mystery, hidden even from angels, a divine purpose destined to unfold. Before creation, before the first "let there be," a storm silently gathered, and the throne, though unshaken, watched in sorrow. Because what was once perfect was about to be tested. In the heart of glory, where nothing impure should dwell, a quiet shadow began to stir. Lucifer, heaven's brightest light, the anointed cherub, adorned in jewels and splendor, began to behold himself. What once reflected God's majesty now craved its own. His beauty dazzled, his voice thundered like harps, and his wisdom was unmatched, but pride, like a poison, seeped into his soul. He began to wonder, why must I serve when I shine so brightly? Why bow when I was born to rule? These whispers grew into secret ambitions, unspoken yet deadly. In the corners of heaven, among the curious and the proud, Lucifer began to speak, not with defiance but with questions. Could there be more? Could we be more? He masked rebellion in beauty, draped deception in light. And many listened. Slowly, subtly, loyalty fractured. Once sure hearts wavered. Angels who had sung in unity now murmured in uncertainty. Behind the veil of worship, a movement was forming, a silent, swelling tide. Heaven, once unshakable, began to tremble. For the first time, in a realm where only truth reigned, doubt had found a home. And as Lucifer gathered his legion in the shadows, the skies dimmed, and the eternal throne watched in silence. Though heaven shimmered with light, the air grew thick with an unspoken tension. The Almighty, omniscient, omnipotent, was not unaware. Long before the first whisper, long before pride bloomed in Lucifer's heart, God knew. And within the courts of glory, behind veils only eternity could lift, the unseen council was summoned. Seraphim bowed. The elders watched in reverence. Silence filled the heavens as the voice of God pierced eternity. In wisdom beyond time, the Most High revealed that rebellion would rise, not by his design, but by the free will he had lovingly given. But justice was never far from mercy, and so he prepared. Strategies divine were woven into the tapestry of heaven, and Michael, heaven's champion, was summoned and commissioned. He stood tall yet burdened, charged not with vengeance but with righteous defense. The celestial host sensed it. The atmosphere shifted. Songs grew still. A holy hush fell over heaven. Then Lucifer moved. No longer subtle, no longer hidden, he declared his vision. A new order, a throne lifted above God's own, worship redirected and allegiance reshaped. The line had been crossed. The storm was no longer coming. It had begun. And then it happened. Heaven split open. What once echoed with eternal praise now trembled with the roar of rebellion. Cries pierced the skies as angel turned against angel, wings clashing like thunder, and blades of light tore through the firmament. What was holy now burned with war. The unthinkable had become real. Lucifer, draped in his former beauty, led his fallen host with a twisted glory, roaring against the throne he once worshipped. His eyes burned, not with love but with vengeance. And as he soared across the skies, fire in his breath, justice rose to meet him. Michael, heaven's appointed defender, unsheathed his celestial blade. His eyes glowed with divine fury, not born of hatred but of unwavering truth. With a cry that shook eternity, he led the armies of light, their voices like thunder, their swords singing with righteousness. Heaven became a battlefield of immortals. Light and shadow collided in a war beyond comprehension. Time stood still. Stars dimmed. The very foundations of heaven trembled. This was not just a battle for power, it was a war for eternity itself. And in that sacred chaos, destinies were sealed, forever. The clash of immortals reached its peak, and heaven's light faltered, but in the end, justice prevailed. With one final blow, one final devastating command, the Almighty cast Lucifer out of heaven. The once brilliant morning star, now a dark shadow of his former self, plummeted, falling from glory into the abyss. The very skies that once worshipped him now rejected him. And with Lucifer, a third of the stars, his followers, his deceived legion, fell with him, their wings torn and broken. They were not simply cast out, they were condemned, trapped in the eternal prison of hell, a realm forged in rebellion and reserved for the lost. In the chasm of darkness they would remain, forever. But as the thunder of justice echoed through the heavens, Heaven itself erupted in a cry of victory. The throne was unshaken. Glory was restored and peace returned, but at a cost. For though heaven had been cleansed, the scars of war remained, eternal reminders of pride's fall. The light of the morning star was gone, but its shadow would linger, forever shaping the course of creation. Heaven would heal, but the scars of rebellion would never fade. With heaven's battle won and eternity forever marked by the scars of rebellion, a new chapter in the divine story began, one that would forever change the course of creation. God, in his infinite wisdom, unveiled a plan that would confound both heaven and hell. Man, a new creation fashioned in the very image of the Almighty, was brought forth from the dust of the earth. But this was not just another creation. This was God's image on display, frail yet powerful. In the Garden of Eden, heaven and earth would meet. Here, amid the beauty of a perfect world, the seeds of legacy and redemption were planted. Earth itself became the stage for a cosmic battle, the fight between good and evil, light and darkness, innocence and corruption. And from the depths of his fury, Lucifer, now stripped of his glory and crowned Satan, swore vengeance. Man, this new creation, would be his target. For in man's image, God had placed something Satan could never attain, the potential to be like him. The battle lines were drawn. Eden was not just a paradise, it was the epicenter of a war that would span the ages. And in the heart of this mystery, man was the enemy of darkness. The war that began in heaven is far from over. It has spilled into every corner of creation and, most poignantly, into the hearts and souls of mankind. Earth, once a garden of paradise, is now the battleground for something far greater than flesh and blood. The battle for the human soul rages on, and its weapons are not just of fire and sword, but of temptation, deception, and salvation. From the dawn of time, the forces of darkness, led by Satan, have sought to corrupt the image of God within humanity. He whispers lies, stirs rebellion, and brings despair. Yet, Michael, the Archangel of heaven, continues to fight for those who remain faithful. He stands on the front lines, unseen yet ever present, defending the faithful against the lies that seek to ensnare them. But there is more. Prophecies have been written, echoing across the pages of time. The final battle, foretold in the book of Revelation, looms on the horizon. The war is not finished, it is still unfolding. And now you find yourself in the middle of it all. Which side will you choose? Will you stand with the forces of light, or will you be drawn into the darkness? And so, the great war, the war that began before time itself, that shattered heaven and reshaped eternity, continues. From the heavens to the earth, the battle rages on, not just in distant realms but in every soul, in every heart. The light and darkness are locked in a struggle that will determine the fate of us all. And you, each of you, are part of this unfolding story. As we look back through the ages, from the first spark of rebellion to the present moment, one thing remains certain. The choice is yours. Which side will you stand on? Will you be a part of the eternal light or succumb to the darkness that seeks to consume all? The final chapter has yet to be written, and you hold the pen. Thank you for staying with us through this incredible journey. We hope this story has inspired you, made you reflect, and ignited a sense of purpose within your heart. We would love to hear your thoughts and reflections. Feel free to share them in the comments section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more deep revelations, thought-provoking stories, and divine insights. Till we come your way again, bye for now.